Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Okay. So, I believe that I am now recording live and posting this out to YouTube actively. My intention here is to go ahead and do a mod live on screen right now. Hopefully this gets recorded for future use too. I'm not really sure if it will. I have no idea how the video quality on all this is going to come out, how that stuff's going to work. But that's cool. The live stream on the YouTube thing says, "You are live. The internet can totally see you now. To stop, use your encoder." But the internet can totally see me now. So anyway, so yeah, let me resize my stupid head. Make myself a little smaller here. There's no reason for me to be a big old thing. Let's see if it'll adjust. Come on. Go. What if I just move it down? Suppose that works a little bit. Here. This is better. Video on top. Alright. Sorry for the technical difficulty there. I just am figuring out how all this stuff works still, so there's a little bit of that happening. On top. And then this one should be on top as well. And this is my camera. Alright. Cool. So, welcome to Weekend Modder. Here in the lower left, you should have my image. The main screen is my desktop camera, which has my workspace. And then I also do have the ability here to blow up my JRunner instance that I'm working in and out of. So, full encompassing stream. The point here is going to be to modify the RGH Xbox 360 and do a Trinity here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab right behind me, actually. Let's see, are those configured the same way? Yeah. What we have here is a Trinity motherboard that has been stripped down to its bare components. So what you see here is the motherboard pin headers that we're going to solder to and stuff. You can see the fan space. You can see the whole thing. Let me see if do we have any chat? We have a watching person. Cool. Hello, person watching, if you're real. Anyway, let me make this bigger. Maybe I can see the chat room as it goes by, if it goes by. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is prep and do a full RGH on camera here and hopefully be available to like take questions or talk to people or do whatever. If I could figure out how to like make a hangout out of this, that would be pretty cool. So I could actually chat with people. Otherwise, I will be attempting to monitor the chat room. Bad luck, Seppi. Yo, what's up, dude? You are my one viewer at this point. So first time stream, first viewer, you win the prize. You get to watch. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using a scratch pin, which is just a fiberglass scratch pin, and I am taking off the top layer of the coating on the headers here. This is the J2C1 header and the J2C3 header. Essentially, these are the points that we solder to read and write to the NAND, as well as get power, ground, and then points E and F on the mod chip. So what I'm reaching forward doing here is grabbing my soldering iron, flipping that on. And then I also have over here just my hot glue gun that I'm plugging in so the thing starts powering up. I'm going to grab my solder flux. Let's see. This image isn't super clear, is it? Does it focus a little better? Maybe it seems kind of out of focus. That didn't really get any better. Well, while I position this, what I can take the time to show you here is, let me blow up JRunner just a smidge. If we take JRunner, and then if you notice here at the top of the thing, images is one of your options for JRunner. If you select that, there's a drop down that you can't see here for some reason on the screen, it looks like. But on that, one of the options here says NAND Slim, and then it expands out to NAND Corona and NAND Trinity. And if I do that, that gives me the image that is the particular layout that I want. The image for that, so here, just so you can see it, is right here. So that is the header image that corresponds to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. And then that just corresponds directly to these two pin headers here. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is just doing that mod. Sorry, Bad Luck Zeppy says, how much do you sell RGH? So store.weekendmodder.com, you can check out my website there to see what I've got pre-modded for sale. Let's see. Bad Luck Zeppy says, go back to Xbox, PS3 is dead. You know, that might be true. The online communities and stuff. Can you mod my Xbox 360? Yeah, store.weekendmodder.com. You can get send-in services there too. And then, let's see the last one. RGH has been messed up. Can I send it back? So, depends on why it was messed up. If you've bad flashed your NAND, I can totally do a repair service where I basically just solder in a programmer. You can either purchase a programmer so that I can send it back with it, so that you can like fix it yourself in the future if you do it again. So you can buy like a NANDX or a JR programmer from me, or you can send it in and just let me repair it and not solder in the programmer, and you can do send that in for repair, and I'll just charge you a menial fee for that. How long does it take to RGH an Xbox? Hour and a half total end to end. Sometimes 2 to 3 hours or something if something goes crazy, like I got to spend a bunch of time on boot timings. But I've done hundreds of consoles at this point. And I got the NAND files and stuff to prove it if anybody really cares. But because I have done so many, I've got a pretty good grasp on the timing files to use, the wire lengths to use, that sort of stuff. So typically just by knowing, oh, this is a Trinity, oh, this is a Jasper, oh, this is whatever, by knowing that, I've got, lots of other ones that I've done before that I know what's going to give me good boot times. So I don't usually have to spend a lot of time guessing on how to, make them boot good. Let's see. Next part of this. You guys are still staring at my JRunner huge. Sorry. Let me make that small again. So I just soldered and you couldn't see anything. Yeah, no, it's not illegal to use an RGH. So to be clear, technically it is a violation of the Microsoft Terms and Service. So you're violating their TOS, which is why you can get banned. But it is not illegal. There is no law that says you can't use an RGH. So police cannot arrest you or, anything stupid like that. I don't have that many Xbox 360s for sale. So I do when you consider that I have 2 or 3 of each of the things that I have listed on my site. So here, this is actually on my phone. You back up and you can see my crazy cool 40-inch monitor. Oh, look at that thing. My little setup there. But you can see, so there's a console, there's a console, there's a console, there's a console, there's 2 more consoles, there's a console. Those are just the ones that I have out at the moment. So shoot, I mean, if you don't like the selection, hang out for a while. Maybe I'll get into something you do like. So, loading up. Let's see here. What are we doing? 3 red. So you might notice on top of my wires here, I've got just little leads soldered to the end. So it's just a clip off of the end of a regular resistor, which is a little bit more durable, like wire sort of stuff. It's actually like solid core metal. And then I soldered that to the wire and then put a little piece of heat shrink tubing over it, just to give it a little bit more sturdiness, because I reuse these same wires over and over and over. It's not illegal. I may save up for one. Cool. Can I repair a USB port? So, sure, I guess. USB ports are hard soldered to the motherboard, so replacing them requires a lot of effort because you got to heat up the whole thing and then remove the whole like socketed thing. The easiest way to do it, honestly, is just to reach inside the messed up USB port and like straighten out the pins so that they're no longer touching. And as long as they're no longer touching, it shouldn't short anything out. So cool. How long have you been doing consoles for? So I started doing JTAGs in 2011, right before the RGH 1.0 release was put out by, I think the dude's online name was Geely, something like that. I can't remember. I could Google it, but I don't care enough. So anyway, when the RGH 1.0 came out and you literally had to buy the Cool Runner assembly long pin kit, the whole deal, you had to buy it off of eBay and manually program, and it was a huge pain in the ass. I did that. So like, I probably had one of the first, I don't know, it was publicly available, so like 1,000 RGH consoles that ever existed, that sort of thing, because we were duplicating it from what amounted to his original white paper and stuff. Way before the Cool Runner, Rev C, Rev A, Rev B, any of that sort of stuff was around. We were using Matrix glitch. Matrix was the first one to market with really a product, as far as I recall. I mean, somebody out there in the scene probably knows better and could reply, or could give a better product that was available sooner. But the first real chip that I remember knowing about was the Matrix chips that the Cool Runners were really similar to. It's the same XC264A chip in both. So what I've just done here, I didn't zoom out enough, is I just connected a power lead and I connected my NAND X to that pin header. So what I'm going to do is, let me make my J runner, oh, that's not right. Let me make my J runner bigger again. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit the little question mark thing to query. We see that we get the flash config, Trinity, that whole deal. So that tells me we got good soldering. And then I'm going to hit read NAND. I get a little pop-up that says input name, so I just click OK. Don't even enter anything. And it's starting to read the name. If you hit this show working files here, you won't be able to see it on your screen, but it will open up the file where it's actually writing the nandump1.bin2, so you can see it if you need to. So while that's reading, what I usually like to do is take the what do you call it, the ring of light board. So let me move this over a little bit, and then let me hide the J runner again so I don't leave that up in front of you guys. We'll put that back down little for a second. So that's reading in the background. All right, let's check out I messed up one of the pins and one broke, so I had to break it because my console wouldn't turn on. Therefore, it caused a spark and turned on my 360. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the USB. Just make sure the pins don't short each other out and you should be fine. If I get banned on the RGH side of the dual NAND, I'll be able to play without being banned on the other NAND. So as long as you change the NAND on the RGH side first, you change the KV rather, then you would need to, or then you could not ban your retail KV and always keep it safe. So essentially what a lot of sellers will do is they will sell you an RGH console that has the same NAND on both the retail side and the RGH side. And by doing that, they're screwing you, because the moment you take that RGH side on and get it banned, that was the same KV on your retail side. Now your whole thing's banned. There's no point in having a dual NAND. But if you have the forethought to go in and change the KV on the RGH side before you ever take it online, then when it gets banned, it hasn't affected your retail NAND, and your retail side stays good. So as long as you always run a different KV, writing NAND, what? Dude. Look at this J runner, man. Hold on, sorry. I got distracted in the middle. So look at this log output. It finished doing my first NAND read, and NAND output, NAND 1, right? And then it goes to reading the NAND. It says finished in 2 minutes. That's normal. And then here's the weird part, is it says it created an image ECC and then wrote that back to the NAND in 9 seconds. Oh, sorry. Which is normal amount of time, but then it starts reading the NAND again. So I totally expect this first NAND and the second NAND to fail, because if we wrote something to it in the meantime, I may only have one good copy of the NAND dump 1. I think the NAND dump 2 is going to be a not good copy because we overwrote somehow. I must have clicked something, or it stored the previous clicks that I had done before starting the stream. That's super weird, sorry. Okay, so let's get back to things a little bit, and we'll address this with what's happened. So make this back a little. So normally what I like to do right now, but it's about to be over and not matter, is I usually will take the ring of light, which I seem to have misplaced here. And I'll take the ring of light, and during this time while I'm reading the NAND, I'll knock all the original green LEDs off, and then I'll swap them out with like the red or blue or whatever color the customer ordered. Hey, what's my favorite TV show? At the moment, I'm really enjoying Walking Dead. That's cool.
Oh no!
RGH. Oh, did you guys hear that? I hope the audio picked it up. So, back to JRunner here. Just as I said, I expected, the files didn't match. And when I hit yes to the show differences here, exactly what I expected. So the first 50 blocks are all shown as different. So I'm going to show my working files. I'm going to go to NAND dump 2, and I'm going to delete it. And as much as I don't normally advise doing anything with only one good dump in the NAND, I'm going to do exactly that this time with just the NAND dump 1, because my NAND dump 2 is bad because somehow we wrote an ECC file to it. So now that we've got a good copy of the NAND, because of what I'm going to put in here is an ACE V3, the CR4 speed up, I'm going to go ahead and tick the CR4 box. I'm going to hit create ECC, and I'm going to write the ECC. So I do still have a good NAND, the NAND dump 1.bin, and then we're writing an image ECC to it, which may be the same thing that we overwrote in the middle there accidentally between the first and second reads. So now that that's written, I can go ahead and let me see if I can make this stay up a little bit. I can go ahead and disconnect my NANDX, disconnect my power, and we can start thinking about what I'm going to put in as far as glitch chip wise. So tempted to buy. Do I have a white Corona in stock? I don't. Sorry. There is no white Corona on the website at all. So there's a pink Trinity. There's a Halo Reach. There's some glossies, and there's some matte blacks, but I don't think I have a white one. Are you the only person that hasn't bought Absolutely not. There's tons of people that haven't purchased anything. Lots of people want to make their own too, which I totally support. Please, by all means, if you're nerdy and into it, or not nerdy and into it, and you want to do your own. Oh, I got J-Runner up in the front again. Let me turn that down. There we go. So I just mounted the Ace V3. The one thing that I'm cautious of here, let me zoom in my camera a little bit more. I know the video quality on this isn't great, but it's my first time. I'm sorry for the shaky cam. I'm trying to steady it. So, man, that's blurry. Is it blurry? Do I have my own personal RGH? Man, I go through them so fast. If I want to play with one, I just pull it off the shelf and play with it, and then put it back and somebody else buys it and whatever. I don't have like one that I've hung on to for all this time or anything. I'm going to see if I can fix the camera here. My Corona won't boot to dash. Can you make a video? I don't know what I'm supposed to make a video of. That's not nearly enough information to be useful. Full screen. Video mode. Oh man. Oh, cool. I got the video back. All right. What's the best glitch chip in your opinion? Dude, the Ace V3 is super versatile. It's a great chip. It's super cheap. You can get them on eBay for like $8. You can get them from me for a similar price on my website. You can buy them way cheaper if you're willing to wait for in bulk out of China. It's not hard at all to find somebody there. Ace V3 all the way. And there are people that can and do use it on fats. I pretty much exclusively use it on slims because I like the way RGH 1.2 works on the Corona chips. Or not Corona, Cool Runner chips. But there's no reason that you couldn't use RGH 1.2 on the Aces and make that the only chip you use for everything, which I think some other sellers have done. Okay. Okay, Corona got bricked from system update. Mr. Bond, will you ever do PS3s? No, I'm not ever going to do PS3s. Can I make videos when I'm bricked? Yeah, so what he's saying, boot then eject disk trays, he's suspecting that you have some sort of bad dash launch thing. So if you have bad dash launch settings, you can bypass them by hitting or booting the console, and as soon as you see the lights, you start spamming the eject button. And if you get the timing just right, that'll work. What I learned as an alternative to that that's more reliable is if you take a USB, format it to FAT32, and then create just a text file on it with nothing in it, just a blank text file, and name it launch.ini. The way that dash launch by default looks, it looks at the USB first, and when it finds the launch.ini, but then it's blank, it doesn't apply any settings out of it. So then therefore, you know, there's no settings and you can use it like normal or whatever. Zell boots, but not dash. Okay. So Mr. Unbound, do this. Get your UPD flash.bin from your backup disk. If I did your console, you get a backup disk. If I didn't do your console, somebody else did it, you should have a backup NAND somewhere. Once you have the backup NAND, boot Zell, take your USB flash drive, put it in your computer, format it to FAT32, put the backup NAND on it, name it updflash.bin, then put it in the console and boot Zell. Zell will see the updflash.bin. It'll say, hey, I'm about to flash your NAND. Press power if you don't want to flash it. If you don't press power, if you just leave it there, it will flash the entire NAND, and it will rewrite it to a known good state. So once you have that known good NAND written to the console, when you boot up normally and boot to dash, it should work just fine. Unplug all hard drives, all USBs, don't have anything connected to it but power and video. Double check your AV cable. Make sure that if you're using the AV that it's seated. Flip that little switch from HD to SD back and forth. Make sure it's right. If you're using AV, try HDMI. If you're using HDMI, try AV. Lots of times it can be video issues like that. Yeah, so I don't know. Get system update after that? No, there shouldn't be any system update. There might be an avatar update, but unless you were on, as long as your backup NAND's on a current version, because if you flashed a backup NAND that was on an old dashboard, and then you, eggs, that's probably a typo, RGHs. If your backup NAND was on an old dashboard and you flashed it and then updated the retail update, like did the update, downloaded it from Xbox Live, then you just bricked your console again. But if you did that, there should be no way that Zell's still booting. First wire that I'm soldering here is the bottom pin there. It's 5 volt. Yeah, we've been on the same dashboard for a long time. 17489 for like, what? At least several months. I mean, if not 6 months or something. I'm the little PS3 nerd that has no idea what I'm on about. So, King Candy Mods, when you put on a new KV, it prompts you for the avatar update or system update. When you update it, it just gives me an error and won't let me go online. So, I've heard that from other customers in the past, and every time it's been an issue with their stealth provider. So whatever stealth service or provider they were using, they either switched it to a different provider or got some help and got the right settings configured. And then it started working for them. It was never been a hardware issue or anything like that. So while I don't have a great specific answer for you, what I can say is check in with your stealth provider, check in with an alternative stealth provider, make sure your settings are all configured correctly. Because if you're being prompted for the avatar update and you already have it installed, or you're being prompted erroneously when you shouldn't be, then that's been a stealth issue in the past. Somebody bought 10 RGHs and bricked them all. That sucks, man. We have 10 viewers. You guys are cool. I don't know, it's weird. It's a one-sided conversation. Like talking to a camera while I'm RGHing a console, and you guys got a little chat thing. That's kind of neat, I guess. It's also a little weird. I'm in a room talking to myself. I'm not talking to myself. You guys are talking back. I guess I'm talking to myself right now because none of you guys are saying. Some KVs are for the beta dash. That doesn't make any sense. That statement is going to need some explanation if I'm to believe it. A KV is a KV. Essentially, it's the unique identifier of a console. Every KV there ever was, and every KV there ever will be, came from an Xbox 360 console. That's why, realistically, the only time you're ever getting an unshared KV is when you buy a new console and the seller isn't selling them out from underneath you. Because anytime you buy one from somebody else, that means that it's both you and whoever that original console was, right? They have it. Even if they say it's unshared, You really mean to tell me somebody went through the time to JTAG or RGH a console and get the KV, and then they're going to sell it for $10 unshared, and they're never going to share it with anybody else other than you for your $10? No way, dude. That's bogus. Unshared console KVs are maybe less shared, but I don't believe anybody. That's why I don't sell them. When you get a console RGH by me, and you get the console with the original KV back on it, that original KV is the only unshared KV you're ever going to have, because I don't sell them out from under you. I don't sell KVs, and you've got that, and you're the only person that has it. Oh, man. I can't find my tweezers. Oh well. Let me get one more look. Ah, here they are. Cool. How do dual NANDs work? Mr. Unbound. I did the USB with Jen. Who's Caleb? Wow. How do dual NANDs work? That's one I can answer. A dual NAND is exactly what it sounds like. It's two NANDs on a console. So as part of the process of of the RGH, we rewrite the NAND with a slightly modified version of the same thing that's already on it. So you have a NAND that's mostly original to Microsoft, whatever it was that they put on there, with just some minor modifications to allow for the unsigned code. And then you make that small modification and write it back. So you no longer have your original NAND. So what the whole dual NAND solution is they physically add a second one of these. This is the NAND chip. You physically add a second one of these. You solder it to the motherboard and all the connections that this thing needs to talk. And it gives you, on a dummy level, is just a switch that you flip. When you have the switch in one way, it boots the original, non-modified NAND, and you have a retail console. And you flip the switch the other way, and you have the other NAND, which is generally installed on the underside of the motherboard. And that NAND contains the RGH NAND, which allows you to run the unsigned code. So you get all of the advantages of an RGH. So you have two consoles in one. There you go. There's new to modding, made in RGH and sold it for $162. Cool, good job. XPS Ninja is cheap when tampered. Use Flash from Zilla and I get a pop-up to update. What dashboard version is the NAND that you're flashing? So what is your original dashboard that you've got the thing RGH'd on? And then my follow-up question would be, what sort of stealth are you using, and are you certain that it's configured right? Because again, I mentioned being incorrectly prompted for stealth can be a sign of or incorrectly prompted for updates can be a sign of an issue with your stealth. You checked, it's 17489. It's $4 cheap for a KV. Not as long as you only expect it to last a little while. Sure. Pay $4 for a KV. I don't know. I don't sell KVs. I'm not really in that market. I sell consoles that have them on there. People talk about selling $20 for getting $20 for original unbanned KV. So $4, you got to be expecting something super shared and Johnny Gunn's got some matrix glitchers. Yeah, I like matrix glitchers. I've used them before. They're good chips. No issue with that. I think I mentioned earlier in this stream, the matrix glitcher was the first custom-made for RGHing chip that I ever used. I became a big fan of the Team Executor stuff, but The Matrix was the first one that I could buy and get stock on way back in 2011. Oh. They are instant boot. I can look around at chips again and stuff and get pretty damn good boot times with the current configuration that you see here with this Ace V3. We'll let you guys be the judge of that here in just a second. We'll have this thing booted up. So we've got the thing. So what we need to do now is actually program the Ace chip. So what I'm doing is taking my NAND X, connecting my little pin header deal. I sell these on the website as well. They have the little protruding pins so that you can stick that right down into the socket on the Ace chip, and then that's how I program it there. So you're going to want to see JRunner for this. Actually, I think you're going to have to take my word for it to a degree, because you can click on Advanced, you go Custom NAND Read-Write Functions. Then the rest of this, for some reason, the software is not capturing, but it pops up a separate little window, and you choose the XSVF option, and then I've got a folder set up with the 15432s under RGH2 Trinity 300 megahertz 60.6 file, and then I start off with the L.6 60.6 file, and then you can see that full path and file name if you care to really read that. This is the particular file that I flashed. I need to move this one. There we go. So then I'll just run it again just to show you the output and stuff. So there we programmed the glitch chip. Oh, I hit the camera, sorry. And then let me put this back down a little bit. So now I'm going to connect power back to the console. See if we can do this. And then HDMI so we can see Zell. And then actually a network cable so we can capture the CPU key without having to manually type it. And then I use this nifty little infrared remote to power it on. So you can see it's glitching there already. So this one's taken a few cycles off the bat. Tells me I'll probably need to change the timing file a couple of times to get it exactly right. But I think it just, oh no, that wasn't a successful bit. You guys are arguing about a stealth service. That's, I mean, I guess it's something to pay attention to, but there we go. There we got a boot. So we're definitely going to modify the timing file to get the boot times there better. But we just got the successful boot, and then what I'll do is come back to JRunner here and hit Scan IP. And if I get lucky, I won't have to go switch over to that video feed so that I can see the scan. Come on, there it goes, and we have our CPU key. Hooray! Yeah, stop arguing. I agree with that guy. I guess I'm giving away the CPU key. I'm live on the air. Doesn't really matter. I have the CPU key. It doesn't do anything. But I'll probably load a different KV on this console if and when I sell it. Just to be extra secure about that I'm giving them a good one. What does everyone in here think of Noodles? What is Noodles? Is that another stealth service? Some of these stealth services are named stupid shit, man. Noodles. That's funny. I don't know if it's stupid or maybe it has a meaning. All right, so we did just get a boot. We got our CPU key here. The very last step to finalize making this an RGH, I guess, would be I'm gonna in JRunner. I'm just gonna create XE build image. I'm gonna delete the SM. It also said there's an SMC file in there. If you want to delete it, you always say yes unless you're intentionally messing around. Hook up my NANDX and the power back to the console. And then I'm going to hit write NAND and write that UPD flash back to the console. And now this is an RGH. Basically, it's done. This thing now has the RGH kernel on it. The only other thing that I personally do to them would be obviously test them, boot them a bunch of times, and then load on freestyle dash launch an XEX menu, and this thing's ready to go, ready to use. So once that write completes here, this thing will be an RGH. We'll play on the timing file a little bit, get it tuned in, clean up our solder flux stuff, do the LEDs, that sort of thing. But this has been a live modding. This seems kind of cool. You guys like this at all? There was up to 14 people watching at one point. Should I do this ever again or never again? What's up? I'm going to watch for some comments here in a second. I think for sure if we do it again, we'll announce the time in advance so that more people could check it out and know about it. But honestly, if you did know about it, would you go out of your way to attend something like that? I wouldn't watch somebody. That'd be weird. Again, do it quite often. Yeah, more. Okay, that's positive. That's cool. Explain some more things you can do with an RGH. Yeah, let's take some questions. That's a good idea. I'll keep talking if we have more questions because you guys were just arguing about stealth service. More things you can do with an RGH. So there's a cool build of a piece of video software. What's it called for the RGH Xbox 360? It's often suggested in the Team Executor forums as a way to validate whether or not you have E74 on a console. Is to boot Zell will often boot even when you get the E74, but you can boot this. It's like XM. Oh, I need to Google it now. RGH Media Player via Zell. What's it called? XM Player. There it is. So XM Player, which there was only like a version 0.0.2 or something. The XM Player is a piece of media software that I would love to see get completed and turned into a robust. If somebody wanted to port Plex to the 360, I would think that would be awesome. But you can do that. There's a flavor of Linux that you can boot via Zell. You can run a Nintendo 64 emulator. You can do there's a local outside of Xbox Live. There's an alternative Xbox Live service that you can connect to and play just regular games with other chill people that use RGHs. I forget what that alternative Xbox Live service is, but I'm sure you could Google that pretty easy. So there we go. That one took a little while to boot too, so we're definitely changing that timing file. But we did get a successful boot after we've written the follow-up NAND. So we know that we can remove our headers here because we don't need to read and write anything else to the NAND. So that's a good thing. Okay. I would always watch this. It's interesting. Did you have me call? I did. Triple NAND. Yeah, sure. There was a product produced by Matrix or Maximus or one of them. There was a triple NAND solution. I described NANDs earlier as just flipping switches between them, and you could totally do that. Can you make Young Metro trust you with an RGH? Can you make Young Metro trust you? I don't know who Young Metro is. Make sure you all sub me for your modding content. Okay, well, check him out at least. If he's cool, then sub him. That's what you should do anyway. Young Metro trust everyone with an RGH, just not Microsoft. I don't know what that means. How does software development affect the overall system, and does it damage any circuits? does it damage in software development? I feel like you're trying to use words that you don't really know. Damn, I am live streaming. Yeah, but you don't know Young Metro. No, I don't know Young Metro. Sorry. So I think the question that you're attempting to ask is, does RGHing the console damage anything? And the answer is, in my experience interacting with hundreds of people using what's very likely 1,000 or more RGHs, no. If they're taken care of, the same way that you have a high rate of RGHs that have red ring, you have retails that have red ring. So in general, the 360 was just kind of a bogus platform when it came to stability and longevity for their systems. The slims got way better, but the fats were super notorious. I feel like I'm going on a tangent big time. Anyway, RGHing, does it damage anything? No, I don't believe so. Young Metro, trust me, the weekend monitor, so I'm good. Cool, I guess. Is that a good thing? Seriously, somebody tell me what Young Metro is. Is it a service? He's a YouTuber. Is he a YouTuber? I don't know. Young Metro. Well, we're all talking about him now, huh? I guess he's getting what he wanted. Or what anybody on YouTube wants, I guess. Connor, what are you doing, bro? It's bedtime?
I was hoping you can read to us.
Okay. Well, why don't you go upstairs and I will go read to you in just 5 minutes, okay?
Wow, why is this so stickable?
It's tape. It's supposed to be stickable. Alright, run upstairs. The internet is watching you.
How?
Through the camera and stuff. It's crazy.
You can see
Oh.
up the stairs?
Modding and kids. Let's see. Young Metro is a legend. Have you ever bought off Moon River on eBay? You send your free name Explorer because you're sure we run a call. Yeah, actually, I buy stuff from Moon River if I need it like in a hurry and I'm willing to pay extra for. I mean, because they're not really price competitive if you're willing to wait for the China orders and stuff. But they're reliable. They ship. I've never had an issue. Absolutely recommend if you're like their prices. Young Metro, trust me. Okay, we talked about that. Have an Ace V3 and Core and a Rev C on the way. Cool. What's the best motherboard for modding consoles? So my personal preference would be any of the slim models, whether it be Trinity or Coronas, just because when they went to this integrated XC GPU where it was all in one die, their red ring reliability went way up. They don't have near the overheating issues. Here's on Jumpman. No, sorry. What's my favorite movie and YouTuber? Those, I don't know if I can answer in the time that I have left. YouTuber, I don't really. Man, I should participate in YouTube some more. How about we stop modding and ruining games, kids? Yeah, don't ruin games, kids. That's awful. Make games better. Don't ruin them. I have a cute kid. Cool, yeah, I like him too. He's a good guy. You're going to email me tomorrow, so please check. We check every day, don't worry. Why do people think Coronas are bad to RGH? Because if they don't have any experience doing it, a significant number of them, they can be slightly finicky in rare occasions to get good boot times out of them. But if you have, enough experience, you can know that you can fight through that and you get it. So, why aren't Winchester motherboards moddable? Because nobody's bothered to take the time to really invest in it because there's so few of them and there's no money left in figuring it out by any of the major teams. It's my personal opinion. The specifics on the technical details, because they're physically way different, and they were probably designed to prevent that as much as possible. How do you make a developer console? We'll have to address these in another one. My kid just came in and asked me to read, and I'd be a total dick dad if I didn't go do it. So I'm going to call the stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Next time I will make a pre-announcement video, at least a few hours in advance. And anyway, cool. You guys have fun. Laters.